Hi guys, Puddin here with the game for you in my Z52. Now, spoiler alert, this is going to be boring as just it's boring. I prefer to still keep it clean, but this is more or less about the discussion than the gameplay. You may be asking yourself, why are you discussing carriers yet once a freaking gun? Why won't you let this dead horse lie? This game in particular showcases why CVs belong in this game. Double carrier games, and what I mean by double carrier games, so nobody can get confused, is two carriers per team for a grand total of four carriers. Do not belong in this game. That's way too much. It's way too much for the carriers. It's way too much for the surface ships. Well, maybe not for the carriers, but to me, they're more toxic than a Flint, Belfast, Atlanta diff. I do not believe in double carrier games. It also kind of takes away from the health pool of the team. But instead of sitting here bitching about carriers all game, why do they belong in this game? Carriers still can do very important roles. Now, it still is luck of the draw of what type of carrier player you are going to get. And it's really going to come down to a person who's still pretty good at multitasking, i.e., knowing where to send his planes, just like positioning for ships, knowing what to attack, where to attack, how to help defend the team with your fighter consumable, what to attack, what not to attack, compared to somebody who's just out there for raw damage, or somebody who is less skilled and is going to support the team a little bit more through spotting than their damage. I kind of letting the team get the damage while they just finish off low health ships. It's still a crapshoot on good or bad CV player. Now, Z52 is not exactly a horrendous ship against carriers. It's long range AA. To me, it's just baffling on how American AA has just been surpassed by everybody. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay while talking about carriers and they belong here. Carrier could have spotted me earlier. Now, there's no way they didn't know it's the Z52 on cap because nobody could see me, and of course I had to hear Gumo spotted, but still it could have been a cruiser that snuck on and used his hydro instead of his radar. Carrier gives you information. What carriers can't do now is give you information about the entire freaking map without flying his planes over the entire freaking map, but he's not going to keep everybody spotted. Carrier could have forced me out of this position sooner instead of, me realizing, crap, a Cleveland and a Hiraguma are rushing me. I'm going to pop my smoke anyways, and I don't know what the heck is still spotting me, but yeah, you can see here I'm getting pretty well beat up. Traded a lot of my health, and I didn't get anything in return. I didn't get anything in return for the amount of health I traded for this guy, which now means I have to play way more cautiously than I like to. A carrier could have kept me spotted for the Des Moines because I'm out of the Des Moines radar range. I'm out of Cleveland hydro range. Obviously, his radar's down. It was his radar, I do believe. Or it could have been both those guys popped it at the same time, and Cleveland just said, screw it, I'm going in for it. While our Jean Bart is proving the French don't retreat while he, throws his ship away for nothing. Like, nothing was gained there at all. As a matter of fact, we came out of that situation very, very badly. They're going to get the cap. They killed a Tier 9 battleship. I'm on low health. I don't exactly want to get in a gunfight with anything anymore. At least not until Radar's dead. But I'm going to be able to stay alive. Because I'm going to play it a lot smarter. I'm only going to take shots when deemed absolutely necessary. Or radar. Because, well, I'm radar. They know where I'm at. There's no point in not shooting. It's not like there's a 20-second debuff I have to wait. I have to wait for the radar to die. I know where the radar ship. I know where he's coming. I sent preemptive torps. So if he's got his hydro on, he may be turning the other way. All I got to do is get distance. But if there was a carrier, guy might be able to keep me spotted. Get a torp hit. Going to assume on the Cleveland, not the Des Moines, but hey, it could be the Des Moines. It doesn't matter. I got a torpedo on one of these ships. Now, because I do know where, I do believe this team has 2 radar. I do know where both the radar are at. What was that be? You know what? I'm not really going to go until we find out where these ships are. And once again, even if the carrier was going about his business and trying to get his planes in something, maybe this team wouldn't have scattered the way it was if there was a carrier. But he could easily be keeping a shimmy spotted because the enemy team is very strong at sea. He could be going after those two carriers. Our CV could be going after the lonely Yamato. Even if it was a tier 8, it's a single ship you're going to be able to get a strike in. The enemy could be going after these R2 battleships that are on the 9 line trying to make their way back across. Cycling through, the enemy could be cycling through his planes, going through his torpedoes and his bombers. And depending on what it is, sending his bombers to deal with me, even though the situation I would stay with my cruisers, I would still tell the enemy where I was, and it would stop me from venturing out. Like, what's going to stop me now from venturing out is Cleveland's dead. Radar's gone. How far is that Des Moines away from me? All I have to do is stay 10.1 kilometers away from that Des Moines, and he will never, ever see me. I will see him. He can't see me. If I sail into his radar range and he hits the screw you DD button, I will be spotted. But the other thing is, what I'm about to do is I noticed the Azuma's disappearing. I noticed the Yamato's not staying spotted. And these are 2 guys that need to be dealt with fairly quickly. Carrier could have easily dealt with either one of these. Well, maybe not the Azuma. And let's just say, for sake of argument, it's a tier 10 carrier. He'd be able to take care of the Azuma and the Yamato because they are separated from each other. I do believe the Azuma gets defensive fire. I don't know. I've played mine a couple times and I just forget, but I'm going to assume I slapped on defensive fire on it because it is a damage farmer and you do want to stay in the back. So I want that little bit of protection from a CV at least. And a Yamato who, Yamatos aren't known for their AA. Well, it's going to shoot some planes down. You're still going to be able to get your attacks in. He could be punishing those 2 ships. Now, there is another reason you guys are seeing this replay, because something very special is going to happen. Particularly at the end, and you're going to figure it out really, really quickly at the end. I get the B cap. We have kind of had the cap advantage longer than the enemy, and while we have the ship lead as 1 ship, the enemy is in a death ball per se. The Yamato and the Azuma are by themselves. The last 2 ships you want to leave off by themselves with no opposition, with nobody spotting them, with nobody harassing them, which a carrier would be excellent at doing. Just because everybody's going to have to sail from A to B, and guess what? They want to angle up. Now they're not sailing to B to defend it. They have to angle up against these two guys. So all these guys coming on A are pretty much presenting broadside targets to the ships, except for the ones that want to angle into them. Well, guess what? Look at the way the enemy's positioned. If they're angled up against these two guys, the guys that are coming through C through the middle now have broadside shots on those guys who are angling. So the enemy's got a very good crossfire going on. And especially if somebody just leaves these guys alone and doesn't harass them, doesn't try to push them, turn them, do something, they're going to have nice shots. Now, why didn't I smoke up and start pew-pewing these guys? I'm probably the one spotting them. So the minute I smoke up, one, they know I'm down there. Two, they know not exactly, but roughly where I'm at, because none of them, those two guys aren't running RPF. Des Moines doesn't know where I'm at. Like, they're going to know where I'm at through torpedoes are being spent at him. They're going to know he's down here somewhere. He's close. He's definitely within 10.5 kilometers because, you know, he's torping, which means he's got to be close enough to torp, which means he's even closer than this max torp range because they're running away. You know, this is all information that these two guys could be sharing with his team, with their team, and, you know, all they got to do is pretty much just go, DD's over here somewhere. And that tells his team that, hey, they can go through the middle, they can go through the top. The destroyer's down here trying to deal with these two ships. If the enemy had a carrier, just send some planes over, poop a fighter over, you know, force them to use smoke, force them to stop. Let us get some distance from this guy. You know, he's already got a couple torp hits on the battleship, you know, forcing him to turn, force him to go away. Now, what I should have done was talk to the Edinburgh, be like, hey, do you want my smoke? I can keep these guys spotted, but I wasn't sure what the Henry was doing, and I didn't. This is a mistake on my part. This is a huge mistake. You may be thinking, how's it a huge mistake? I can spot these guys. The Edinburgh can just pew-pew, pew-pew. And, well, he's not as pew-pew as a Minotaur. He can still hurt these guys. He's going to have to force them to angle because if they remain broadside to him, all he's got is AP. And everybody knows British AP hurts, like, really, really badly. Especially against broadside targets. Now, I don't know why he opened up. But, I mean, this is a mistake on my part. This is me failing to support the team, help the team, and it's, you know, I'm going to call it out, but say there was a carrier. You can ask the carrier to do that. Hey, man, keep these guys spotted. Let me smoke up. I can help you out, you know. Poop your fighter a little bit further away so you can attack, and these guys are still going to be spotted for the duration of my smoke, which is roughly about a minute, and that's how long a fighter will last. So, you know, you could be working together. And the other thing is the fighter's going to die before smoke goes out. So as soon as these guys aren't spotted, he can just be like, boom, I need to get out of here. There's not spotted. There's no point in just sitting in the smoke. It could be another reminder that, you know, the CV could be doing that along with striking these guys. To me, that this is all, everything happening is because there isn't a carrier. People aren't grouping up because there is no carrier. Usually when you do see carriers, especially double carriers, everybody just loves to ball up because that's what you have to do to defeat them. So either you're on the team that realizes you need to ball up, or even if you do it in two groups, but you group up for AA, or you're on the team of like, oh, there's two carriers, I don't know what to do, la la la. And they go off by themselves and everybody dies, and it just seems who's ever in the division is trying to help as much as they can, as I fail to get torps because the Yamato did something I didn't expect them to. But right here, I should have looked at this guy. I should have mashed my F3 key. Like, kill the Cleveland, dude. Kill the Cleveland. I need a Cleveland dead. But luckily for me, the Edinburgh bro is in a smoke cloud and realizes I need to kill a Cleveland because the Cleveland can radar me. Now, unfortunately, the smoke ended for the Edinburgh Bro, and he's going to keep shooting at the Cleveland. Now, of course, our Bismarck complained that he wasn't getting any support. There's a mini map for a reason, guys. I know I've been kind of all over on this, but there's a mini map for a reason. How long do you think it's going to take the guys in the south or the middle to come up to help you out? Well, they're trying to fight the enemy, defend the camp. Hey, sometimes you're by yourself. Oh, look, you're by yourself. You need help. Oh, carrier, can you please come over? Get this guy to turn away so I can go dark, so I could potentially heal up and help the team out. Hopefully the enemy carrier won't come after me because you're going to poop out a protective fighter plane. You never know. I mean, we will never know what could have happened if there was a carrier in this game, because there is none. The other thing is, you're probably going to see most of my DD games during the week. During the weekend, way too many double CV games, way too frustrating. So it may be a little bit more battleship heavy or cruiser heavy. Cruiser heavy, if I get any good at playing in cruisers. But here's the situation. Did the Des Moines use his radar? Don't know. Not even going to touch B to slow down the camp if he's going to get on it, because I do not want to give my position away. The only reason I'm going to give my position away is through my torpedoes if he's not smart enough to dodge them. The other thing is, I don't know if he's got radar. I'm hoping to God he ain't got radar, because I'm out of get me the hell out of here buttons. But the enemy are quickly, they're beating up on the good old team here. These torpedoes may have delayed the Des Moines going in. Or hats off to the Des Moines for not getting hit by my torpedoes. Probably running hydro. And guess what carriers can do to DMs not running defensive fire? Can take care of them fairly easily, especially with the, I'm going to call Bologna's slingshot, but it's going to be in a game, and we're going to have to deal with it until either one, the community makes enough stink about it, or two, nothing ever changes. That kind of the option, like you quit playing. Now, somebody's laughing at the Conqueror for shooting 6 kilometers at HE, and if it was at an Edinburgh or a cruiser, guess what? He can't sit it out some of you guys with his HE alone, especially at that range. I have done it to Minotaurs. Haven't done it to Des Moines yet, but I've taken a lot of help. No, I believe I do. Believe I have. No, I switched to AP. I switched to AP just to piss him off. Fired one salvo HE, then I turned broadside and I just said, no, goodbye. But here's the thing. There's 2 ships left, right? We have the points lead. It's still a 200 points game. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. What's going through my mind right now? DD's at sea. He ain't going to get to me. Conqueror's pushing Montana. Yamato's pushing Montana. The Azuma's pushing Yamato. None of those guys are remotely close to me. They're out of the game. They're out of the fight. Where's the Des Moines? I don't know where the Des Moines is. If we had a carrier, let's just assume he died, I can still say, hey man, can you at least give me information on where the Des Moines is? Now, I have RPF, which gives me a rough estimate, but carrier could have gave me a little bit more information, like an actual spot. And honestly, what's going through my mind is, okay, the Montana killed the Azuma, so if the Montana dies, I can still get a solo warrior, and honestly, this is what's going through my head. I can still get a solo warrior because of it was a trade. It was a 1-for-1. Now, might not have been the best point trade, but it was still a trade between 2 ships. One of theirs, one of ours. All I have to do is just run away. Guess what would have stopped me from just completely running away? You're absolutely right, guys. A carrier. Carrier is going to kind of take some of these solo warriors away of where all you got to do is run away and survive. Unless it was a carrier being the last one running away trying to survive, is I get a torp hit on the Des Moines, and that is going to slow him down. He wouldn't have made it to A in time. Anyways, I completely misspell warrior because I'm a retard. And the guy calls that I'm in between A and B, which I am not. And now we're going to check out the post-battle results of this just lackluster game play and performance by me. Now, I do hope you enjoyed this replay. And I was talking to Sneaky about this, and he just started laughing and cringing all at the same time. And he said, you literally did nothing in that game. I said, no, I was smart enough to run. I was smart enough to stay alive. I was smart enough to recognize the situation. I said, but beyond that, yeah, I didn't do crap. And I admit it, I really didn't do much, but kept something, traded my health for no game, and stayed alive. All because there was no carrier to spot me. Now, I hope you guys do fill up the comment section on your thoughts about at least a single carrier gameplay. Still believe there's no room for double CV games. I really wish they would get it away. I don't want no small soft cap, be a hard cap. There are enough carrier players out there at this point because CVs are enough fun to play to where I don't think we need double carrier games. We do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We do love the replays you send us. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.